Hello guys, welcome to the fiction series. Today we are gonna see, what if Naruto were born from Quincy and Soul Reaper lineage? Part 1. If you want more awesome fan fiction like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, so without wasting any time, let's get into the video. I know for a fact that Ichigo Kurosaki will come here having obtained a new power. I wish to bring that power closer to completion. Your deaths will help, Aizen says, raising his blade, and unknown to him there's a thundercloud above him. Run, Asano. Tatsuki yells, holding a girl on her back. Higo can't utter a word, can't believing what she's saying. Just do it. There's nothing you can do here. Tatsuki yells, looking at Higo. Higo swallows and runs. Jin is about to follow him, but Aizen stops him. There is no need to pursue them. We can begin right here, Aizen says without turning and looking straight at Tatsuki. What do I do? What do I do? I can't move. What do I do? Tatsuki thinks, scared out of her mind. Aizen steps closer, smiling. How can I save? Tatsuki thinks, and Aizen swings down, but suddenly a bolt of lightning came down, drawing their attention. A bolt of lightning is blocking Aizen's blade. The lightning disappears to show a guy with blonde hair, ocean blue eyes, no whisker marks, he's holding Zabu's giant blade. The guy is showing a smile. Sorry I'm late, Naruto said, smiling. Jin is surprised seeing this and Aizen's eyes narrow a little. So you finally show yourself, Aizen said, and Naruto's smile widens and looks at Tatsuki, and his smile changes to that of a gentle smile. It's okay, calm down, you just get out of here, Naruto said, and somehow Tatsuki calms down. Aizen, who is Thai? Jin is cut off by Aizen. He is related to Ichigo Kurosaki, he is his cousin. He's the son of Ichigo Kurosaki's mother's twin sister, Aizen says, and Naruto turns back to him. So you have been watching me, big deal. You and I know that I'm stronger than Ichigo, and I have a good relationship with my hollow, Naruto said, and Aizen's eyes widen. Run, now. Naruto yells and Tatsuki shakes her head. You'll die. Tatsuki yells, worried for this stranger. Yeah, but I can't let a cute girl like you get hurt, Naruto said, and she blushes a little and stands up. She looks at Naruto one last time and runs. Now I can use it. Bankai. Naruto yells, surprising Jin, and Aizen's eyes narrow a little. A huge bolt of black lightning with a yellow outline comes from Naruto. When the dust clears, he's in the same outfit as Ichigo when he goes Bankai. It's a Japanese long sword like Ichigo's, but the sword looks different. The grip is yellow with black lines through it. The cross guard is a swirl, and the blade itself is dark yellow. Tensuragen, Naruto said, looking at Aizen, no longer smiling and looking seriously at Aizen. He puts his left hand to his face, and black reishi with a yellow outline start coming to Naruto's face. It creates a hollow mask. When he removes his hand, he has the same hollow mask as Ichigo, but the red lines are dark yellow. I'm quite disappointed. I thought you would have shown more, Aizen said, and Naruto puts his hand to his face again and starts to gather more reishi, surprising Aizen and Jin. If I want to win, I guess I'll have to go holification too. Naruto says, with his voice sounding like a second voice talking as well, just like Ichigo. Naruto removes his hand. His mask is different. It looks just like the mask Ichigo was wearing when he lost control against Ulquiorra and entered holification too. Jin then feels the massive spiritual pressure. Naruto roars, unleashing a dark yellow spiritual pressure. Incredible. Jin says, and Naruto points his horns at Aizen and starts to create a yellow zero, making Aizen's eyes widen. Naruto fires the beam and Aizen sticks out his hand blocking it, but when the beam stops, Naruto is gone. Aizen moves his head in time, dodging Naruto's blade. You move just like your father, Aizen says, and Naruto gets angry. Don't you dare talk about him. You killed my father. That is unforgivable. Naruto yells and his spiritual pressure increases. Naruto Sanito's next to Aizen and swings his blade. Aizen blocks it with his own, and the impact pushes the wind away from them. Naruto begins to force Aizen back. Urahara taught you well, but, Aizen says, and his eyes glow. Aizen swings his sword and it connects with Naruto's sword, and he flies back through a building. It won't matter, I'm still, Aizen says, but was cut off by Naruto appearing behind him. Stronger, Naruto said, and Aizen turns to him. Naruto raises his sword and a thunder cloud appear above him, and yellow lightning hits Naruto's sword. I must end this now. Naruto thinks, and the lightning stops and the cloud turns white. Now black lightning with a yellow outline begins surging from Naruto's body. Naruto then hurted. Aizen Zanpakuto crying. Naruto becomes enraged. You sicken me, you can't even hear it. Naruto yells and Aizen looks a little surprised. I can hear your Zanpakuto crying if you can't even hear it, Naruto says, and Aizen narrows his eyes. Are you implying I can't hear Kyoka Sujetsu? Aizen said, getting annoyed by Naruto's accusation. I'm surprised you know its name, it angers me hearing her seeing his Zanpakuto betrayed or ignored by its user, Naruto yells, and his spiritual pressure increases, and his lightning becomes bigger, making Aizen's eyes widen, feeling his spiritual pressure increase even more. Amanari, Naruto yells and the lightning starts to go to the blade. Jin's eyes widen feeling the tremendous spiritual pressure focus into his sword. Shrill. Naruto yells swinging the blade, and Aizen's eyes widen all the way and swings his Zanpakuto. A blinding flash blinds everyone. An explosion happens. The width of the blast is the size of a football field. The smoke clears showing Naruto breathing hard and his mask starts to break and pieces start to fall off. I did it, Naruto stops and his eyes widen. The smoke clears showing Aizen with a slash on his chest. But it starts healing. I am impressed by the sheer power you put in that attack, but it's futile. I'm stronger than you, I am the one who has transcend above Soul Reaper and Hollow, a mere human like you can't defeat me, Aizen says, and Naruto looks at him disbelievingly. It's not over yet. Naruto yells sticking out his left hand and creates a yellow zero. I'll never give up. Naruto yells and the zero increases in size. Naruto flash steps in front of Aizen and thrusts his zero straight at Aizen, but he stops it by sticking out his left hand and disperses the zero. Damn it, Naruto said, and Aizen slashes him across his chest, and Naruto starts to fall from the sky, and his mask falls to pieces. Naruto hits the ground and starts to black out. Time skip episode 308. Naruto's eyes start to open. He sees Tatsuki sitting next to him. What happened? Naruto said and looks to see Ichigo, but he's different. So, this is the first time I ever met Ichigo face to face, Naruto thinks, and Ichigo looks at Naruto. Aizen also looks different. Thank you for protecting them, Ichigo said, and turns back to Aizen. Are you truly Ichigo Kurosaki? Aizen said gaining Ichigo's attention. What do you mean? Ichigo said showing no emotion. If you are truly Ichigo Kurosaki then I am disappointed. I no longer sense any Reiatsu from you at all. Even if you were suppressing it, it would not vanish entirely. You have failed to evolve. You have thrown away the last chance I bestowed upon you, Aizen said, and Naruto sees Ichigo's Zanpakuto and the look in his eyes. Naruto smirks. Ichigo is stronger than Aizen, there's no mistaking it, Naruto thinks smiling. Aizen sticks out his left hand towards Ichigo. Such a pity, Kurosaki Aizen is cut off by Ichigo. Aizen, Ichigo says cutting him off and Aizen's eyes narrow. Let's moves I don't want to fight here, Ichigo says looking at everyone. A meaningless proposal. Such words are reserved for those with the strength to challenge me. There is no need for concern. I will leave Karakura Town's destruction until after Aizen is cut off by Ichigo suddenly grabbing Aizen's face with his left hand and jumping away. Aizen is so screwed, Naruto says smiling happily. Ichigo, Tatsuki said. Don't worry, Ichigo won, Naruto said getting up and start stretching. Man, Aizen beat the shit out of me, and the fight wasn't that long, Naruto said with a bored look on his face and looks at the sky. Who are you? Kigo says looking at Naruto with the others. I'm Ichigo long-lost cousin, Naruto Namikaze, Naruto says introducing himself. Naruto flash steps past them surprising them. I'm going to see where Ichigo is at, Naruto said, and flash steps away. Time skip. Ichigo is on a rock looking away while Urahara is thinking about what Ichigo said. Yo Ichigo and Urahara. Naruto yells with the others behind him. Naruto gains their attention. Orihime, Ishida, Rukia, Chad, Renji and who are you? Ichigo says and Naruto signs and starts eating ramen. I'm your cousin, I was trained by Urahara, Naruto said, and the others look at him surprised. Where did you get the ramen at? Chad said and Naruto looks at the cup of ramen in his hand. I don't know. Naruto said and Urahara laughs a little used to his Naruto acts. How come I never met you? Ichigo says now standing up. 1. It's because of idiot Urahara and 2. Your mother and kind are twin sisters. They were right, strawberry, Naruto said, and Ichigo's eyebrow twitches from that remark. Whatever you say, fish cake, Ichigo said and Naruto's eyebrow twitches. Their heads are now butting against each other. You wanna go? Naruto yells. Bring it. Ichigo yells and Naruto's eyes widen. Ichigo folds past Naruto shocking him and the others. Ichigo. The yell rubbing to him while Orihime is just watching worriedly. Naruto signs already knowing about the final Jutsuga Tensho. It's already taking effect, Naruto thinks. Ichigo, Orihime says worriedly. Ichigo screams in pain. Man he's loud. Someone says and Naruto enters his mind. He's in the forest of death. Hollow Naruto is hanging from a branch and Raijin standing on a branch. Raijin looks just like Ichigo's Quincy powers. You know the one that said he was Zangetsu, Raijin is doing the same exact thing. What now Hollow Naruto, Naruto says, and the Hollow laughs a little. Well, look at that girl with orange hair, I've got to say that Hollow Naruto is cut off by Naruto punching him in the face. Perverted hollow, Naruto says with a light blush. I'm not perverted, I just said that to make you feel embarrassed, hollow Naruto says true to his word. Well, can I leave now? Naruto said and hollow Uchiha nods. Yeah whatever, what do you think Raijin? Hollow Naruto says and Raijin had his eyes closed the whole time and opens them. Be prepared Naruto, I have the feeling something is gonna happen, Raijin says and Naruto nods. Well, bye, Naruto says waving and disappears. You do know that he'll find out about what you did, hollow Naruto said looking at Raijin. I know, I can't keep him from what lies ahead, Raijin says looking at the blue sky. Time skip. Naruto is currently in the head captain's office with the other 3 captains. He's going to tell the captain who he is. Imbeciles. Yamamoto yells at the 3 captains and Naruto sweat drops at this. How dare you lose your captains Hayori. I might be able to overlook tearing them, but to lose them altogether and then you have the hull to look at me as if nothing had happened. Yamamoto yells. Please do not be concerned, General. I am quite happy to pay for replacements for such cheap Hayori, Byakuya says and Naruto chuckles, but stops seeing the head captain glare at him. That is not the point. And they're not cheap, either, you witless fool. Now listen to me there's more to a battle than just winning it at all costs. Just what do you knaves think a captain's Hayori is? Yamsnodo yells. The pain, Zaraki says with a bored look. Cheap cloth, Byakuya says with no emotion. Trendy. Shunsui says with a drunk look. The clean windows with, Naruto said putting in his 2 cents and Yamamoto gets a tick marks. You pack of miserable buffoons. Especially you Naruto Namikaze, you are a fucking idiot. Yamamoto yells and Naruto looks at Zaraki. So how many heart attacks has he had? Naruto said and Zaraki smiles at that and Yamamoto gets even more pissed. Naruto ducks a sword. Sorry. Naruto yells seeing that he lost a few hairs on his head and a pissed of Yamamoto. Time skip where Ichigo is. What happened to you? Ichigo says seeing Naruto with a big bump on his head and still steaming. Don't ask, Naruto says with tears in his eyes, not wanting to remember Yamamoto slamming him through the floor. Time skip to Ryugai Uprising arc. Naruto, Ichigo and Rukia are wearing school uniforms, they got back from school. We're back. Ichigo says, Naruto is staying with them for now on. Rukai. Khan yells jumping to a Rukia which results Rukia kicking him in the face. Khan bounces all over the room. I've told Roy before no to leave the room, Khan, Ichigo says and starts walking. Khan falls on the ground and turns to Ichigo angrily. Shut up. I'm not letting you get in the way of our daily ritual. Khan yells and Naruto raises an eyebrow. Your ritual? Naruto said. You heard me. The bliss of feeling Rukia's kick penetrate my cot, Khan is cut off by Naruto stepping over him. Pervert, Naruto said and Rukia then steps over Khan. Ichigo, what the hell is wrong with him? Naruto said and Ichigo and Naruto's substitute Soul Reaper badges beep. Naruto is also a substitute Soul Reaper, he got his powers by doing the same thing Ichigo did when he tried to awaken his powers that were inside of him by training with Urahara. Yamamoto let it skip since Naruto helped fight. Geez, day after day, they just keep on coming, Ichigo says. Enjoy it while it lasts, you may not have much time left you know, Naruto said taking off his bag along with Ichigo. Ichigo grabs Khan. Hands off. Khan yells and Naruto starts to walk to the couch. I lay my body here, Naruto says, and uses the badge which makes him come out of his body. His body falls on the couch. Ichigo swallows the mod soul and comes out of his body while Khan rolls and hits the wall. We'll be back. So don't start any trouble Khan, Ichigo said. That goes for you too, Chappie, Rukia said out of her body and looking at her Chappie that's inside her body. Aye, sir, Chappie says. Hold on there, Ichigo. What makes you think you can treat like this? Khan says and Naruto looks at Khan questioningly. Why bring this up now? Ichigo said. Every single time, you just use and abuse me until you're satisfied. I'm not just an Ichigo substitute, damn it. Khan yells and Naruto smiles. What are you talking about? Ichigo says she turns. Ichigo, Naruto, we've got to go, Rukia says, and they nod. Right anyway, look after the place, will ya? Ichigo says and they flash step away. Time skip. What the hell did you do? Naruto yells standing next to Ichigo and Rukia. Naruto is back in his body and when he enters Ichigo's room he sees this. A green-haired girl in Ichigo's bed. Well, to be perfectly honest, I'm not exactly sure, Khan says with a smile and Naruto's eye twitches. What the hell is wrong with you? Naruto yells at Khan. And why did you put her in my bed? Ichigo yells at Khan. Well, it seemed like a good idea at the time. Khan says still in Ichigo's body rubbing the back of his head. How the hell is this a good idea? Ichigo yells and turns to the girl and lifts the sheet. Don't lift, Khan stops covering his eyes and Naruto saw and he turned away not seeing anything. Ichigo blushes bright red and Rukia has a light blush. Naruto is blushing bright red. I'm guessing she's not agreeing any clothes, Naruto says, and Ichigo puts the covers back over her. What the fuck did you do? Ichigo yells blushing and looking at Kon. No. I didn't do anything. She was lying on the ground. Already like that. Kon yells standing up and backing against the wall. Ichigo, Naruto, Rukia says gaining their attention. I can't sense anything from this girl, Rukia says. Both Ichigo and Rukia say. Normally, even if a human has no spiritual power, you can still sense their aura. But it's like this girl doesn't even exist, Rukia said. Kon, where did you find her? Ichigo said looking at Kon. In a parking lot in the 3rd district, Kon said. As I thought. That's right around where the Senkai gate opened earlier, Rukia said looking at her phone. So, does that mean this is a gigai? Ichigo says and the whole time Naruto is ignoring them. Naruto puts a hand to her hair and pushes down until he touches her face. I can feel something. This isn't a gigai, Naruto said. You guys talk to Urahara, I'll stay here with Kon, Naruto says and surprising then. Fine, Kon you better keep out of trouble, Naruto said, and they nod. Both nod and flash step away. I'll find her a pair of clothes and you watch her, Naruto said leaving the room and shuts the door. Naruto leans against the door and slides down. Naruto looks at the ceiling. What am I feeling? Have I no that can't be, Naruto thinks standing up and walks away. Time skip. Naruto is sitting on the couch and it's the morning. Hello? Someone said and Naruto turns seeing that she's awake. Well, I'm Naruto by the way, what's your name? Naruto said and the girl sits on the other side of the couch, completely ignoring Naruto. She takes the remote and starts to flip through channels until she stops at the weather channel. Not much of a talker, aren't you? Naruto said. Pervert, she says and Naruto blushes red. Wait what I didn't do anything. John's the pervert and besides I'm the one who bought you the clothes, Naruto said. My name is Nozomi, Nozomi says and is surprised by why she just said that to a total stranger. Can I ask where your parents are? Naruto said and she looks away. Naruto signs and stands up. Let's talk upstairs okay, Naruto says politely and touches her hand. Both feel a jolt and pull away. What was that feeling? Nozomi thinks never feeling this before. Both are starting at each other and hear running. Kon comes running downstairs and looks at the girl. Nozomi turns to Kon. Just what do you think you're doing? Kon yells grabbing Nozomi's arm and runs back up the steps. But before Nozomi disappears from view, they both have eye contact. Naruto is just standing there not moving and touches his right hand. Nozomi, Naruto says to himself. Naruto begins walking up the steps and hears yelling. Naruto opens the door and enters, then closes the foot behind him. I brought you here without yelling anyone else in the house. Don't you dare take a single step outside this room. Kon yells and Nozomi has her arms crossed sitting on the floor while looking at Kon. If anyone found out I brought a little girl like you here, they'd figure I was a pervert and kick me out of the house for sure. Get it? Kon yells. You do know that she looks like she's in her teens, so they won't see you as a mega pervert. I think. Naruto says in a thinking position. They hear knocking at the door. Something wrong big brother? Yuzu says at the door and Naruto begins sweating. Naruto starts to think of a plan. I'm Kon. You probably don't remember, but I helped you out yesterday. What's your name? Where did you come from? Kon says leaning close to Nozomi who has a bored look. I won't tell you, Nozomi says looking the other direction. Nozomi stands up and sits on the bed at the corner of the bed. She still had her arms crossed. Kon says not understanding why she won't tell him. I said I'm not gonna tell you. Nozomi says loudly and Naruto rubs the back of his head. If Yuzu sees this there's gonna be a lot of explaining, Naruto thinks. SHH. Kon says with his hand in a silence motion. Shut it, you pervert. Nozomi says louder and Naruto cracks a smile. Who are you calling a pervert? Kon yells and starts moving towards her which results in Nozomi standing up and throwing the covers at Kon. Stay away from me, pervert. Nozomi says loudly and throws Apollo at Kon's face, which makes him fall on the ground. Can you two please stop fighting, Naruto said with his eyebrow twitching. Time skip. Kon walks in the room holding food while Nozomi is sitting on the bed looking at Naruto who's against the wall. Hey, you gonna eat? Anything you want. Kon says and Nozomi looks away, then closes her eyes and opens them looking at the ceiling. Kon slams the food tray on the desk. Can't you hear me, you moron? Kon says which results getting hit in the face again by a pillow. Kon moves back against the table and his hands touch the pencils on the sharp ends. It hurts. Kon yells holding his left hand that has pencils in them. Where am I, you moron? Nozomi says. Who are you calling a moron? This is my house in Karakura town. Well, sort of my house, anyway, Kon says. Karakura Town, Nozomi says thinking. Yeah, it's a nice place here, so where are you from? Naruto said. How many times do I have to tell you two? I see no reason for you two to know. So not only are you two perverts but also complete morons. Nozomi says turning towards the window. Shut up. I'm not a moron or a pervert, Kon is stopped by Naruto whacking him on the head. Kon shut up, Naruto said, and sits on the bed facing the other way from Nozomi. It's okay, you don't have to be scared. Trust us, Naruto said to Nozomi who looks down. Big brother. Yuzu says at the door again and both Naruto and Kon freeze. You keep shouting. Is something wrong? I'm coming in. Yuzu says touching the doorknob and Naruto thinks fast. Naruto grabs the covers and wraps his arms around Nozomi making her blush. Wait. Kon says and Yuzu enters. What's wrong? Yuzu says seeing Naruto in Ichigo's bed with the covers over him and Kon standing at the side. Nozomi is glaring at Naruto under the covers. It's nothing, we're just arguing, Naruto is stopped by Nozomi sneezing. Naruto thinks it was a cute sneeze. Naruto, who's under the covers with you? Yuzu says and Naruto starts sweating. Mindscape. Well, this is gonna be entertaining, Hollow Naruto says with a wide smile and sitting in a chair with a plasma TV in front of him, showing what Naruto sees. I agree, this is an interesting moment, Raijin says with a small smile. Out of Mindscape. Naruto says lost for words and Nozomi moves the covers off of her and looks at Yuzu. Naruto, who is this girl? Yuzu says and the wheels in her head start moving. She's my friend from school, Naruto says with a smile, and you could see that he's nervous. Karen, Dad. Naruto has a girlfriend. Yuzu yells running out of the room and shutting it while Naruto turns Snow White. Mega pervert, Nozomi says still sitting on Naruto. Mega pervert, Nozomi says again glaring at Naruto. Call me what you like, but if I'm the pervert, why are you on top of me? Naruto says and Nozomi blushes a little. Nozomi glares at Naruto again. Mega pervert, Nozomi says getting off of Naruto and stands up. Says the one who was blushing, Naruto says also standing up. Both are glaring at each other now. Guys, Kon says seeing Isin at the door holding a camera as well as Yuzu. Pervert, Nozomi says crossing her arms. Midget, Naruto said, and Nozomi has a tick mark. Mega pervert. Nozomi yells louder. Green-haired midget. Naruto yells back and takes a step forward, but there was some pencils on the ground from Kon, who had his hand stabbed by them. Naruto slips and falls on top of Nozomi. Their faces are so close they can feel the other's breath and both are blushing. Then they hear clicks and see flashes. Both turn to see Isin and Yuzu at the door holding cameras. Naruto's blush increases. Parent signs. Leave them alone, Ichigo brought girls to his house a lot so what's the difference, Karen says leaving. I'm so proud of you. You're just like Minato. Isin says smiling and Naruto's eye twitches. Can you two leave us three alone now? Naruto says calming down and they nod. Both take a few more pictures and leave. I hate my life, Naruto says getting off of Nozomi and falling on his back. Mindscape. Hollow Naruto is on the ground laughing from what he saw. Ahahahahaha. Hollow Naruto laughs and Raijin signs at this. Out of Mindscape. Sorry about that, Naruto says sitting up and apologizing to Nozomi. Mega pervert, Nozomi says looking away. Naruto stands up and walks towards the door. Sorry, Naruto said leaving. Time skip at night. Naruto is at the river watching the moon reflect off of it. It's peaceful, Naruto said in his Soul Reaper form. He left his body on the couch. Naruto hears running, he looks to see Nozomi running, and it appears two Soul Reapers are chasing after her. Naruto's eyes narrow and flash steps. Where Nozomi is. Nozomi ran inside what appears to be a factory. Nozomi stops out of breath. Nozomi looks around. Hey. Are you alright? Kon says running towards Nozomi. But suddenly a bolt of light hits Kon sending him into the wall. The light looks like restraints. Nozomi eyes widen and turn slowly to the corner of the factory. A man walks out of it. You struggle in vain. Did you truly think you could escape me? Kagarosa says and Nozomi's eyes widen fearfully. Kagarosa jabs Nozomi in the stomach, making her fall to the ground and passes out. My deepest apologies, one of the Soul Reapers say. No matter. Kindly eliminate him for me. In the end, he is nothing more than a mod soul. I shall return while you deal with him, Kagarosa says and feels spiritual pressure. He turns seeing Naruto holding Raijin. Attacking a defenseless girl, you make me sick. Bankai. Naruto yells pissed off. Nozomi opens her eyes a little seeing Naruto. Naruto, Nozomi says weakly and passes out. Kagarosa narrows his eyes feeling the spiritual pressure increase. You will pay for what you've done, Naruto said pissed off. You're not alone on that one, Ishida says appearing next to Naruto. Hadu number 4 by Akurai, Kagarosa says firing lightning at them, but it was simply absorbed by Raijin surprising Kagarosa. Ishida disappears. Hearing Kyaku, Kagarosa says. It means flying curtain step. Are you a Quincy? It seems that my humble group has attracted considerable interest, Kagarosa said. I am not interested in you. But I'd appreciate you not bringing your quarrels to this town. Withdraw. If you do, I won't harm you, Ishida says. I would likewise prefer not to turn this into a serious incident, Quincy. However, if you two insist on obstructing us, then I will be forced to consider you another enemy to be eliminated, Kagarosa says. It wasn't my intention to obstruct you. But you see, I already consider you my enemies, Ishida says, pulling back his arrow. As you will, Kagarosa says, giving a sign to tell his Soul Reapers he can handle it. I will take responsibility, Kagarosa says, and Naruto Flash steps next to him. Both swing their blades. Ishida, you go long range and fire when there's an opening, Naruto said, and both Flash step at the top of the building. Very interesting, I wasn't expecting this to happen. Kagarosa says, smirking, and Naruto narrows his eyes. Someone like you falling in love with Nozomi, Kagarosa says, smirking, which results in Naruto glaring at him. Haminari Shkrim. Naruto yells and swings his blade, sending a black lightning wave at him. Kagarosa dodges it, but then was struck in the back by Ishida's arrows. Kagarosa falls to the ground. Naruto Flash steps next to Ishida on the ground. Well, that was boring, Naruto said, and Ishida pushes his glasses up. Naruto turns to where Nozomi is still on the ground. So you have a crush on her? Ishida says with a smirk, and Naruto blushes. Shut it, Four Eyes, Naruto says, walking towards Nozomi, and Ishida's eyes twitch at the remark. It's not over yet, Kagarosa says, and both stop and turn. Kagarosa's body is gone. Where is he? Ishida says, looking around, and Naruto looks up at the side of the building to see Kagarosa unharmed. Did you really think that you've won? Kagarosa says. His wound? Ishida says, surprised. How is that possible? He was his by my Kaminari Shkrim and your arrow. How is he unharmed? Naruto said, not understanding Kagarosa's abilities. Fall into madness, Raikyu, Kagarosa says, lifting his cane, and it transforms. It looks like a dual-blade sword. He's using Shiki, Naruto said. There is no need for that. I have no intention of giving you time to bepize it, Kagarosa says, and spins his Zanpakuto, and it happens. Naruto's eyes widen, somehow reacting to it, and Sunito's away, but Ishida wasn't as lucky. Kagarosa is behind Ishida, and Ishida's now disappears. Even from such a long distance I didn't see it coming, Ishida says, and falls to the ground. How did you dodge me? For a second you reacted before I could hit you. Kagarosa says. Huh? Naruto said, not understanding. How did he before I could hit him? He reacted on instinct. Kagarosa thinks. HADO number 4 by Akurai. Kagarosa says and fires blue lightning at Ishida. Naruto turns and the attack was blocked by an orange shield. My word. Kagarosa says, and Chad appears above him and throws in a punch which Kagarosa dodges but creates damage. Ishida. Orihin says, running to Ishida, who falls to the ground. Orihim, you take care of Ishida's wounds, Chad says. They'll try and but you some time, Chad says, and Naruto Flash steps next to him. I'll help, Naruto said. A time, you say? Kagarosa says and spins his blade. Naruto eyes widen and moves fast. Before Kagarosa could hit Chad, his blade was blocked by Naruto. Again? Kagarosa says. I'll handle him, you protect Ishida, Naruto says and pulls back his blade. Naruto swings his blade and Kagarosa spins his Zanpakuto, and a portal appears in front of him which Naruto slashes and the portal disappears. I'm not done yet. Naruto yells and is about to swing again when a portal appears in front of him and he sees himself swinging his blade in the same position he was stopped at. Naruto's eyes widen and is hit by his own attack. Naruto is slashed on his chest. What just happened? Naruto thinks and Kagarosa swings again, but it was blocked. Good, you're here, Naruto said, seeing Ichigo in front of him. Thanks for blocking the attack, but I can handle it, Naruto says, and his hollow mask forms in his face. No, I can. You protect the others, Ichigo says, and Naruto raises an eyebrow. Right, how you're not even strong enough to defeat me even with holification, Naruto said, and Ichigo turns to him. Naruto sees the anger in his eyes. Fine, whatever, you fight him, but if you can't defeat him I'm stepping in, Naruto said, and his mask falls to pieces. Naruto Flash steps to Nozomi and holds her close to him. You okay? Naruto says, and Nozomi opens her eyes a little and has a ball smile, surprising Naruto. Nozomi eyes close and she passes out. Nozomi, Naruto says sadly, and lays her down. Naruto looks very kissed at Kagarosa and is about to fight when he felt Nozomi's hand holding his. Please don't go, Nozomi says quietly, and Naruto smiles. Time skip. Ichigo is sent out of the factory injured. Ichigo rolls on the ground with his shoulder all bloody. Ichigo. Rukia yells, running to him. How convenient. You people could potentially interfere with my plans. I appreciate being able to eliminate you right here, Kagarosa says, and suddenly Zabumaru comes through a water tower connecting with Kagarosa's blade. Yo, Ichigo. You've really stepped in it this time, haven't you? Renji says. Renji? Ichigo said. Kagarosa looks annoyed and Naruto appears behind him with hollow mask on. Kagarosa turns and swings his blade as well as Naruto, but Naruto forced Kagarosa back with sheer power alone. Kagarosa heard a yell and sees one of his bodyguards defeated. One of the Soul Reapers have Nozomi in his hand and Naruto flash steps next to him and cuts his arm off. Brah! He yells in pain. Naruto grabs Nozomi and flash steps away. That was your own fault, Toshiro says appearing next to the Soul Reaper and hits him with the hilt of his Zanpakuto. Kagarosa appears behind Naruto and swings his blade. Naruto ducks and jumps away with Kagarosa chasing after him. Put her down. Kagarosa yells at Naruto. Never in a million years. Naruto yells and his hollow mask turns to pieces. Naruto is holding Nozomi bridal style while still holding Raijin. Naruto jumps in one of the factory's taller buildings and a lot of cherry blossoms appears behind Naruto going after Kagarosa. Kagarosa jumps away and flash steps to another building. They just keep coming out of the woodwork, Kagarosa says with his two soul rappers appearing next to him. Big brother. Rukia says seeing Byakuya. Byakuya. Ichigo says surprised. Such a shameful defeat, Ichigo Kurisaku, Byakuya says. Yeah, he shouldn't let me fight him, Naruto says appearing next to Byakuya holding Nozomi. Shut up, Ichigo says standing up. Wait, you guys are the real thing, right? Ichigo says reviving an odd look from Naruto. Well, duh. Renji says. But why? Rukia says. It ain't just us, Renji says smiling and more captains and vice captains show up. Hey what's up Zaraki? Naruto says smiling at Kenpachi who smiles back. Ah if it isn't Naruto. I want a rematch after this okay, Kenpachi says and Naruto nods. Yay. Fishcake is here. Yuichiro says happily. You're all, Ichigo says looking around. At raw materials. Kagarosa says with his left eye twitching. Mayuri appears in front of Nemu. What interesting things you've been doing. Forgetting your place, for one, Mayuri says smiling evilly at Kagarosa. Well, if it isn't Captain Kuretsuchi. You graves us with your presence sooner than I expected, Kagarosa said sailing. You have been terribly late with your report, don't you think? Thanks to you, I've been stuck rescuing this worthless bunch when I have far better things to do. Quite the thankless job. I look forward to paying you back for it. A million times over. Mayuri says with his head leaning all the way to the right and Naruto signs. Well thanks I guess, Naruto says. Most amusing sir. You appear to believe that you've won, but I assure you you're mistaken, Kagarosa says and his Zanpakuto turns back into a cane. This is merely a temporary withdrawal, Kagarosa says and the Senkaman opens behind him. You bastard. Wait. Ichigo yells. Stop, Ichigo. The severed world presently under his control. If someone as pitiful as you were to charge in without thinking, you would most certainly be doomed. Though if this latest folly is your way of saying you wish to die, far be it from me to stop you. It's exactly the kind of death I would expect of you, Mayuri says. Shut the hell up, Ichigo says turning back to Kagarosa leading. Kagarosa turns to them. I look forward to demonstrating my true power to you all once I've reclaimed Nozomi, Kagarosa says and Naruto glares at him and holds Nozomi closer to him. Over my dead body. Naruto says. Your true power. Toshiro says. That is when Soul Society and the human world will both fall under my control. Well, then, esteemed raw materials and soul rehour substitutes. Let us meet again someday, Kagarosa says and the gate closes and disappears. Like hell am I letting that guy control anything, Ichigo says. Time skip. Naruto is currently watching Nozomi sleep. Has he even left that spot? Chad says and Ichigo shakes his head. He's been there the whole time waiting for her to wake up. Nozomi's eyes open and the first she sees is Naruto and smiles kindly at Nozomi. You're awake, Naruto says and Nozomi looks away and tries to get up, but can't. She sits up. Don't push yourself too hard, Orihime says and Kon in stuffed animal form jumps on Nozomi's knees. 2. You sounded like you were having bad nightmares. You okay? Kon says and Nozomi is just staring at Kon. Hey, age you listening to me? Kon says pointing at Nozomi. The hell is this? Nozomi says and Naruto bursts out laughing. Haha, that's Kon, so, any idea why that guy was after you? So are you a Soul Reaper? Naruto says leaning closer to her. Nozomi looks away. None of your business, Nozomi says and Naruto signs. Okay, well he's a mod soul, he uses that body if he doesn't have Ichigo's body, Naruto said and saw Nozomi react to the word mod soul. A mod soul, Nozomi says looking at Kon. Hey now, Khan says and Nozomi just stares at him. What is it? That aside, how about you just answer the questions? If you do, I'll let you borrow my minions for a while, Khan says getting closer, Ab's about to touch her chest area when Nozomi grabs a flower pot and smashes it against Khan's head. Mega pervert, Nozomi says holding the broken pot. You bitch, what the hell was that for? Khan yells and Ichigo picks Khan up from behind. Pipe down, Ichigo says annoyed. Why should I? I was just trying to talk to her. Khan says struggling but it's futile. There's no point trying to force answers out of her if she doesn't want to talk, Ichigo says. But still, Khan said. Rukia enters. Naruto, Ichigo. How much longer are you two planning to make Big Brother and the others wait? Get over they, Rukia said. Then not going, Naruto said gaining their attention. I'll stay here, with Nozomi, Boruto said, and Ichigo raises an eyebrow and Naruto blushes. I mean I will stay here and protect her just in case they return, Naruto says blushing. Fine. I'll go, Ichigo says. Alright. Then let's go to the countermeasures meeting. Khan says walking to Rukia. You should stay with the girl like everyone else, Rukia says. Why? Khan says. They're still after her. We can't be too careful, Rukia says. But, Khan says. This is a vital mission. We need you here, Rukia says. Yeah well, if it's you asking, I guess I don't mind helping out a little, Khan says. Let's go, Ichigo, Rukia says. Yeah, Ichigo says leaving with Rukia. See you later, Orihime says waving along with Chad. They hear the window open and look to see Nozomi looking out the window. Nozomi. Orihime says worriedly seeing the sad look. Time skip. Naruto is helping the others set up the BBQ. Naruto sets the table Shen and looks at Nozomi who died by seem to be interested at all. Well, if you guys will excuse me, Naruto said entering the house. 2 minutes later. I found the other table, Naruto says, and sees Khan and Nozomi are gone. Naruto drops the stuff and immediately uses his badge coming out of his body and flash steps away. Nozomi. Naruto says worried. What? Ishida says and looks to see she's gone. We have to, before Ishida can finish Naruto flash steps away. Naruto has been searching all across town and appears on top of a building. He sees Mod Soul Ranjiku about to slash Nozomi and he flash steps. Nozomi shields herself and doesn't feel anything. She looks to see Naruto grabbing on Ranjiku's hand. Let go. Ranjiku says and Naruto begins crushing it making her start to fall to her knees. I will never allow you to touch her again, Naruto says uling his blade up. Growl, before Ranjiku could release her shiki. It was too late. Amanari Shkrim. Naruto yells and slashes creating a lightning explosion. Damn it. I was so close. Ranjiku says turning into a puppet then to dust. You okay, Naruto says bending down to Nozomi and looks at Khan giving a thumbs up. Time skip. You okay now? Naruto said back in his own body and next to Khan standing in front of Nozomi. Nozomi is looking at the bandages around Khan. Be grateful. Ahahaha. Khan says laughing and Ichigo hits him on the head. Ow, what? Khan said. Quit telling her to be grateful. It's all your fault for taking your eyes off her to begin with. Would you leave her in the first place? After everything Rukia said to you. Ichigo says pointing at Khan accusingly. Well, the thing is, Khan says embarrassed. Mega pervert, Nozomi says looking away and Naruto nods. You got that right, Naruto said. Namikaze, Kurosaki, Nozomi, I've grilled some meat for you, Orihime says holding the plate of meat. Don't worry, Nozomi. We'll protect you for sure, Ichigo says surprising her. Nozomi turns away. What are you people, morons? Nozomi says. Well both, Naruto said grabbing a stick with barbecue in it. He sticks it towards Nozomi. You should try some, Naruto says with a smile. Nozomi is looking at Naruto then the food. Nozomi leans closer and takes a bite. Everyone smiles. Naruto is feeding Nozomi. How cute, Orihime says making both blush red. At night. Naruto enters the room with Ichigo to see how Nozomi is doing. Nozomi, everyone going to bed so you should, Naruto stops seeing Nozomi isn't in the room. Ichigo said and both hear a weird sound coming from the closet. It's Khan. Naruto opens the closet door. Khan? What happened? Ichigo said worried. Khan is tied up. Time skip. Khan is coughing. Nozomi, you bitch. Damn it, what were you thinking, hog-tying me like that? Khan says surprising them. We must split up, you warn the others I'll start looking Naruto said and jumps out the window. Time skip. Naruto, Ichigo, Orihime Chad and Ishida meet up out of breath. Did you find her? Ichigo said to them. She couldn't have gone far, Chad says looking around. I can't track by her Ryatsu. Is she really a Soul Reaper? Ishida says trying to think things through. Rukia and Renji flash step on the street light. Ichigo. Rukia says, gaining their attention. Rukia? Did you find her? Ichigo said. No, not at all. The vice captains are searching for her, too, Rukia says, and Naruto looks down sadly. Han says she seemed to be looking for something last night as well, Ichigo says, starting to put things together. Damn it. The captains are already working on a new strategy. I can't afford to fall behind. Remji says, and they all feel spiritual pressure. That felt like, Ichigo says, and they all west. The Senkai gate must have opened. I just felt several captain-level Ryatsu, Rukia says, and Naruto grits his teeth angrily. Of all the times for them to show up. Naruto said. Either way, we have to find Kuju fast. Ishida says. Yeah, Ichigo turns around and he's gone. Why he always there except when I need him. And I don't have my substitute badge, either. Ichigo stops seeing Naruto has disappeared as well. Where Naruto is? Naruto is running through the forest. I don't know how, but I can feel her presence, it's like I know where she's at. Naruto thinks running and stops seeing Nozomi lying down on the grass. Naruto runs to her and bends down. Sign, she's alive, Naruto says and sees she's having a nightmare. Naruto frowns and picks Nozomi up bridal style and starts walking through the forest. 3 minutes later. Nozomi wakes up and sees a smiling Naruto looking at her. She glares at Naruto. Can you put me down? Nozomi says, glaring at Naruto, and he sweat drops. Yeah, sorry, Naruto says, putting her down. Both hear rustling in the bushes and look. Kon runs out of the bushes and Nozomi kicks Kon in the face. You brat. What are you doing here in the middle of nowhere? Kon says in pain. How did you two know I was here? Nozomi says, and Kon sits down with a shoe print on his face. I dunno, I just had a hunch. Don't underestimate the power of my intuition. Sheesh, why have you gotta try to be on your own so much? Do you hate us that much? Or maybe you're up to something. Kon says, walking towards Nozomi, who has a look of little surprise. Hey. Kon is stopped by Nozomi hitting him to the ground with a stick, which stews Kon from getting up, and Naruto signs. Mind your own business, Nozomi says, and they feel spiritual pressure. They're coming. Nozomi says, standing up and starts running, and Naruto starts running after her. Hey. Hold on, damn it. Hey. Wait for me, damn it. Kon yells, being left behind. So why are you running? Naruto said, and Nozomi looks at him with a glare. You following me, mega pervert, Nozomi says, and his eyes twitch. I'm not a pervert. Naruto yells at Nozomi. Both glare at each other. I'm skipping town. Nozomi is walking with Naruto close behind. Hey, wait, will ya? Hey, where are you going? I'm talking to you, damn it. Will you just stow? Kon is cut off by running face first into Nozomi's legs. Kon rolls backwards and lays on his back, then sits up. At her, Kon is stopped by Naruto's fist hitting his head. Will you shut up? Naruto yells at Kon with a tick mark on his forehead. Don't know. I don't know where to go, Nozomi says, and Naruto looks both directions, seeing if they're being followed. What you mean you're just wandering about for no good reason? Kon yells, climbing onto her and begins shaking her. Nozomi then glares at Kon, which stops him cold. I better prepare the funeral, Naruto thinks. Nozomi picks up and rock, and Kon lets go, then Nozomi throws a rock into Kon's face, making him fly back into a tree, while saying don't throw rocks. Kon falls to the ground steaming. Shut up. Pervert, Nozomi says. Is it always pervert this and pervert that? Naruto says, and Nozomi turns to him and throws a rocks at Naruto, which he catches. You shouldn't throw rocks, Naruto says, dropping the rock. I do have a reason. I just don't know where to go, Nozomi says, looking down, and begins walking again. Hey. Kon yells, and Naruto starts following her again, this time right beside her. Time skip near the river. They're walking on the road. Will you get a grip already? What are you going to do if you get caught by those guys who are after you again? Kon says, running behind them. I can protect her, Kon, so don't worry, Naruto said with his hands in his pockets. Why protect me? Nozomi says, looking at Naruto, who blushes. Well, Naruto says with a light blush and running the back of his head sheepishly. For the sake of Soul Society. For the sake of the human world, Nozomi says. That ain't it. Like, come on. Seriously, you're such a pain. I'm fed up with you. I'm gonna leave you alone with Naruto. Hear that? I won't worry about you anymore. Kon says, turning around with his arms crossed. They just continue walking without stopping. Kon's eye twitches and looks back. Hey. Damn it. Kon yells, running after them. Kon jumps on Nozomi's leg, surprising Nozomi and Naruto. What are you doing? Nozomi says, looking at Kon. Come back. I'll use force if I have to. Kon says. Hey off. Nozomi says, starting to shake her leg. Like hell. Kon yells, and Nozomi just ignores him and keeps walking. I wonder what Ichigo is doing now, Naruto thinks, following Nozomi. Even if I have to drag you back, wait, I'm the one being dragged now. Khan says, hanging from Nozomi's leg. Let go. How long do you plan to keep grabbing me, mega pervert? Nozomi says. Just go back to Ichigo's place and let us protect you. Khan yells and Nozomi suddenly stops. Enough. I'll fix it even without protection, Nozomi says with her arms crossed. What are you talking about? Naruto said, not knowing what she's planning. That's why I came to Karakura town, Nozomi says and shakes a little from the cold night air. Naruto takes off his black jacket and puts it on Nozomi, surprising her. You need this more than I do, Naruto says, smiling, and Nozomi looks down. Thank you, Nozomi says, and Naruto's smile widens while Khan is yelling in the background. Time skip to woods. Hey, will you be a good girl and give up already? Khan says, still hanging from her leg. How about you give up instead? Nozomi says and kicks Khan off her leg, which results him slamming into a tree face first. Khan falls to the ground with his left messed up. Ah. My eye's coming out. Look, it's hanging, it's hanging. Khan yells and stops, seeing Nozomi looking ahead. Where to now? Naruto said. I see now where I need to go, Nozomi says. Really? Where is it? Wow, man, I'm so glad. Alright, let's head there right now. Then all of us can get back to Ichigo and the others quickly. Right. Khan says and Nozomi picks Khan up by the ear. Hey, be a little gentler. My ear is gonna come off too. Khan stops and Naruto looks surprised, seeing a shrine in front of them. Am I going blind because if didn't even notice that? Naruto says. That gate, Nozomi says, suddenly drawing their attention. Bait? You mean the torii? Khan says, still dangling. But not this one. There's a place in this town with lots of them in a row, right? Nozomi says and Naruto enters a thinking pose. The place with lots of torii? Could that be? Now I know what you're talking about. That's probably the one up in the mountains. I've been there before. Khan, haven't you been there as well? Naruto says, and Khan nods with a know-it-all look. Yes, in fact I know. Khan is stopped by Naruto taping his mouth shut. You had tape the whole time and you chose now to use it? Nozomi says with a glare. Sorry, I forgot, Naruto says, running the back of his head. Show me, Nozomi says and drops Khan. Hurry up, Nozomi says. Are you sure you want me to get you there fast? Naruto says with an eyebrow risen. Yeah, so hurry. Nozomi stops by Naruto, picking her up bridal style, while Khan grabs into Naruto's leg. Let go of me. Nozomi says, glaring at Naruto. Well, you're the one who told me to hurry up, Naruto says, and begins running with Nozomi wrapping her arms around Naruto's neck. 5 minutes later. Naruto stops and lets Nozomi down. Khan lets go of Naruto. Are we there yet? Nozomi says and Khan finally rips the tape off his mouth. Keep your sucks on, you'll see it in just a see, that's it there, Khan says, pointing ahead. So? What's supposed to be over there? I did carry you here, Naruto says, but Nozomi's ignoring him. I remember what you said. Is that what this is about? Khan says, but she isn't answering and looking ahead. So you're playing dumb? Khan says and Nozomi begins walking again. What is with her? Naruto says, following. Hey, wait for me. Khan yells, running after them. 2 minutes later. They're standing at the steps of the shrine. Come on, surely it's okay for you to tell me now. Khan says, but she isn't listening. What is up ahead? Naruto said, looking at Nozomi suspiciously. The Senkai Gate, Nozomi says, surprising them. Oh, I see, of course, a Senkai Gate. What do you mean, a Senkai Gate? Isn't that something Soul Reaper are supposed to open? Khan yells. When we were investigating the Severed World, we discovered that there are many previously unknown Senkai Gates. One of them is through here, Nozomi says. What are you gonna do when you're at the gate? Naruto said, not liking what's gonna happen. Let's go, Nozomi says, walking, and they follow. They begin walking through the tories. Nozomi hands Naruto back the jacket, which he takes and puts back on. There's a Senkai Gate here. Khan says, and they're finally at the shrine. I get it. You're gonna open that gate and run away somewhere. Khan says and Nozomi takes a few steps forward. I'm not running away, Nozomi says and stops in front of the shrine. This is it, Nozomi says and puts her right hand up and touches something which glows white. The space is distorted, Nozomi says, and makes a hand sign. The blinding light appears and a portal is in front of Nozomi. What is this? It's not like the Senkai Gate I saw. Naruto says, walking next to Nozomi. This is a natural Senkai Gate. There are countless severed worlds that connect Soul Society and the human world. Their flow is too fast and so they are dangerous. They are small and we don't know where they lead. This is one of them. If you enter it and seal it behind you, no one will ever find you, Nozomi says, looking at the gate. How long are you planning to hide? Naruto says, with his hair covering his eyes and his hands start to become fists. Forever, Nozomi says, and suddenly the portal was cut in half, destroying it. Nozomi's eyes are wide and then looks behind to see Naruto in his Soul Reaper form, holding his substitute Soul Reaper badge in his left hand while holding Raijin in his right hand. "Why did you do that?" Nozomi yells at Naruto, who puts away the badge. "I won't allow you to do it. Locking yourself away and being alone forever, I won't allow it. I'll never let you go," Naruto says, surprising her. "I'll protect you, and that's a promise of a lifetime," Naruto says with clear unfaltering determination in his eyes. "Naruto," Nozomi says, and Naruto's eyes widens and wraps his left arm around Nozomi and Flash steps next to a Torii behind them. "Look what we have here," Ryugai Rukia says, appearing in front of them. "Ryugai," Nozomi says. "Let's not have any more of you acting out on your own," Rukia says, and 4 other vice captains appear behind them. "You sure you want to pick a fight against these numbers?" one of them say. "Oh great, it's Boldy and the others," Naruto says, and the so-called Boldly's eye twitches. "How did you?" Nozomi is stopped by Rukia. "Did you think you were the only one who knew about this severed world?" Rukia says, smiling, and goes to reach for Nozomi when Naruto grabs her arm and begins to put pressure on it. Rukia grunts in pain. "I'm disposing of you people now." "Bankai!" Naruto yells, and black lightning with yellow outlines come from Naruto. Naruto raises his sword at them. "I will never allow you to hurt one of my precious friends," Naruto says, and black lightning starts to emit from his blade. He's fighting to protect his friends, Nozomi thinks. "Amanari Shkrim!" Naruto yells, swinging the blade down, and a wave of black lightning is sent at them, making a small explosion. The dust starts to clear, showing Rukia standing. "You win," Rukia says, falling to her knees and turning into a mod soul. Naruto goes back into Shiki. "Naruto," Kon says, running to him. "Why do all this for me? We only met a day ago," Nozomi says, and Naruto smiles at her. "Because I promised that I would never let anyone hurt you," Naruto said. "You promised?" Nozomi says, and Naruto's left hand goes to Nozomi's chin, making her look up, and Naruto leans in. "I never break my promises," Naruto says, and realizes how close they are. Naruto starts blushing and lets go. "So never do that again, okay?" Naruto says, looking away, blushing redder than a tomato. Nozomi smiles. "Okay," Nozomi says, smiling at Naruto. "What?" Kon yells, not believing this. Nozomi realizes what just happened. Nozomi says, looking away, blushing red. Naruto is back in his body, walking back with Nozomi, Ichigo in Soul Reaper form, and Kon to Uraharu's place. "Ichigo. Are you alright?" Orihime says, walking towards them worriedly. "Yeah, Orihime. More or less. How are the others?" Ichigo says, and Tessai answers. "We have brought them here and have already begun treatment," Tessai says. "I see. Glad to hear it," Ichigo says. "Hey, if it's not any trouble, can you check Nozomi for any injuries?" Naruto said, pointing to her, surprising her. Kon walks to Nozomi. "What's up, Nozomi? You okay?" Kon says, patting her leg, and gets kicked in the face. "Pervert," Nozomi says, but this time it's different. Naruto notices it. She's showing more emotion now. Nozomi has her arms crossed over her chest area. "Glad you're feeling better," Kon says. "What's he playing at?" Ichigo says, and Nozomi turns to him with a light blush. "You're just like each other. Mega perverts," Nozomi says, looking around uncomfortable. Ichigo picks Kon up and points at him. "I am nothing like this thing," Ichigo says, and Kin kicks him in the face. "Right back at ya." Kon yells, and Ichigo throws punched, but Kon is dodging them. "I'm not a closet pervert like Ichigo." Kon yells, punching Ichigo, and then was grabbed by him and then stretched. "Why, you," Ichigo says, pissed off. "Hehehe," Naruto laughs a little, seeing Nozomi's expression. "Them fighting isn't that funny," Nozomi says, and Naruto stops and smiles at Nozomi with that famous smile. "You're showing more emotion. Congratulations," Naruto says, hugging her. Nozomi is surprised at this and starts to get sleepy from the warmth of Naruto, and Naruto closes his eyes. Both are oblivious that Ichigo almost falls to the ground, but Orihime catches him. Guys, you can stop hugging," Kon says, and both blush red and let go. "Let me heal you up," Orihime says, helping Ichigo up. "It's no big deal," Ichigo says with his eyes closed. "You mean that?" someone said, and Ichigo's eyes widen. Before he can utter a single word, he was kicked in the face, making him slide to the wall. "Kurosaki," Orihime says worriedly. Ichigo is twitching on the ground with a show mark on his face. "Is he dead?" Kon yells, and Naruto stomps on his head. "If he was dead, he wouldn't be twitching, you idiot." Naruto yells at Kon for his stupidity and turns, then smiles, seeing Kenpachi Zaraki. "Going flying from a teensy kick like that? You call that no big deal?" Kenpachi says, smiling. Ichigo sits up, holding his head. "Anyone'd go flying if you kick them from behind all of a sudden." Ichigo yells, standing up, and stands in front of Kenpachi, pointing at him. "And anyway, weren't you supposed to have gone to Soul Society?" Ichigo yells at Kenpachi. He has a point. Why are you still here? Naruto said looking at Kenpachi. I'm on my way now, Kenpachi said, and Naruto notices something. Then for about I come, Ichigo is cut off by Naruto hitting him in the back of the head. Ow. Ichigo yells in pain. Forget it. You'd just be going to your death the way you are now, Kenpachi says. Whatever, Ichigo said. Make sure you don't die, I still want to fight you, Naruto says, and Kenpachi is a little surprised when he said that and then smiles. Ichigo then appears on Kenpachi's back. Don't worry. Ken can die. Ichigo says happily. Stay out of this, Ichigo, Kenpachi says looking at Ichigo. Shan't. Right, Icky and Fishcake. Ichigo says and Naruto's eyes twitch at the remark. Ichigo chuckles at that but was silenced by Naruto punching him in the face, sending him rolling away. Relax. Until I get to fight you again, I ain't planning on getting killed or dying or whatever, Kenpachi said. Okay, you better go now, Naruto said, and Kenpachi starts walking to the house. See you around, Naruto, Kenpachi says. Ichigo, Naruto said, and Ichigo looks back at Naruto and jumps off of Kenpachi's back and runs to Naruto. Yeah, fish cake, Ichigo says and Naruto signs. Be careful and root Kenpachi on. I got a feeling he will have one hell of a fight in there. Just remember, don't let him die, Naruto said and Ichigo nods. Naruto ruffles her hair and she smiles. Now go, Naruto said, and she nods and runs in the house. Well, that was sweet of you, Nozomi says and Naruto blushes and rubs the back of his head sheepishly. Naruto looks to where Kenpachi's disappeared. Kenpachi's Zanpakuto isn't like anything I've seen before, Naruto said surprising her. What do you mean? She says and Naruto looks at the sky. Every battle he's been in he's gotten a little stronger. It's like he hasn't awoken yet, but that nodded. His Zanpakuto, it's not like anything I've seen before, Naruto said feeling the sword's power. If he were to finally hear his Zanpakuto, I would be frightened by his power the way I am right now. But I would want to fight him even more than. We are alike, him and I. Both of us love to fight, Naruto said surprising her. Time skip. Naruto is sitting next to Nozomi who's laying her head on Naruto's shoulder. Naruto smiles seeing Nozomi sleeping peacefully. Ichigo, Chad, Kon, Orihime and Uryu are watching over Rukia, Ranjiku and Nemu sleeping. Urahara walks in. Urahara, Ichigo said seeing him and drawing their attention. It would seem that, apart from Captain Kanamura, they have all arrived in Soul Society, Urahara says. You know what's happening in Soul Society? Uryu says questionably. It bothered me that we were totally in the dark when it came to understanding the situation over there. So I implanted a transmitter device of sorts in each of the captains, Urahara said. Ichigo stands up. Urahara, would you mind sending me to Soul Society after all? Ichigo says and Naruto shakes his head for Ichigo's stupidity. Nozomi starts to stir and wakes up. Welcome back sleeping beauty, Naruto said, and Nozomi looks away with a small smile. Naruto and Nozomi start paying attention to the conversation. I'll fight too. Ichigo said wanting to fight. Hold on. Just let those guys take care of things over there. And just look at this. All our ladies have been taken out and the guys are no use at all. All we've got are useless guy, 2 Soul Reapers and 4 eyes. We're almost out of guys who can really put up a fight, so if you go, what happens when this place gets attacked? Kon says and jumps on Ichigo's Shihakusho. Don't forget what I said Kon. I can protect Nozomi. Naruto says angrily standing up and knowing that Kon is forgetting how powerful he is. I also heard you want to protect Nozomi. You said Age was your friend. Kon says. Besides, Ichigo, you shouldn't push yourself too hard right now, Orihime says. That's right. Listen to Orihime. Shut up and stay here like a good boy. Kon yells. Can I ask something? Nozomi says standing behind Naruto and gaining all their attention. What is it? Ichigo said. Why are you trying to protect me? What does it all mean to you? Nozomi said. Well, the thing about that is, Kon says sweating and starts speaking quietly. No, Ichigo says surprising Nozomi. I don't really get it either, Ichigo says, and Kon jumps off of Ichigo. It's more like at the start, rather than trying to protect you, I was trying to protect my friends and the human world, and I figured I had to get you away from Kagarosa to do that, Ichigo says. Then why? Nozomi looks at Naruto already knowing his reason. I didn't want to lose you, that's my reason, Naruto said looking out the window. What I do get is that if you're caught by Kagarosa, there'll be a whole load of trouble. Didn't try to do it all on your own. Because you're not, Ichigo says the last part smiling. I'm not on my own. Nozomi says to herself and Naruto smiles like the others while Uryu pushed his glasses up. Suddenly Nozomi sees images and she gasps. Hey. Naruto said shaking Nozomi and she comes back to reality. You okay? Naruto said seeing the look of concern on her face. Nothing, Nozomi says and Naruto starts to get worried for her. Anyway, I don't know why I want to protect you. But I did hear it loud and clear. A voice saying I had to protect you, Ichigo says and Nozomi blushes. What are you, a moron? Nozomi says. He's a pervert and a moron, Naruto says, and Ichigo glares at him. Is this really the time to call me a pervert and a moron? Ichigo said. Nozomi looks away still blushing. You didn't hear any voice like that, Nozomi says quietly. Don't say that, Ichigo said. Nozomi smiles and laughs a little. This guy really is a moron, Nozomi says smiling and Ichigo smirks. Don't call me this guy, call me Ichigo, Ichigo says, and Nozomi steps forward and puts her hand on the center Ichigo's chest. I should be able to get some of your Reiatsu back, Nozomi says, and her hand glows light green. That's a form of Kidu, isn't it? Urahara says surprised. You can do stuff like that, kid. Ichigo says. Don't call me kid. Call me Nozomi Kuju, Nozomi says smiling. Yeah, I hear ya, Ichigo says. Naruto smiles. Time skip. Nozomi finally finished. That should get you a little of your Reiatsu back, Nozomi says. Whoa. This is like back when Anohana healed me. Ichigo says looking at himself. For real? Kan says and Nozomi falls backwards which Naruto catches her and lifts her up bridal style. Are you okay? Orihime says worried. I'm fine, Nozomi says. You've probably put a lot of strain on your body by trying to use your Soul Reaper powers for the first time in a while, Uryu said. Naruto lets her down and sees the look in Urahara's eyes, which makes his eyes narrow. Urahara, Ichigo says gaining his attention. Yes. Urahara said. I'm ready to go, Ichigo said. But, Urahara says trying to find the words to stop Ichigo from chiding to go. If I just wait around like this, it's only a matter of time before my spiritual powers vanish. So I'm better off taking them all down in one last stand now, Ichigo said. Ichigo, you fool. Kan says on Ichigo's shoulder. Try to understand, Kan, Ichigo said. The hell I will. Kan yells and Naruto holds Nozomi's hand. Come on, you should rest, Naruto said leading her to another room. I'll let you have an hour of rest, Naruto said, and Nozomi sits down but won't let go of Naruto's hand. Can you lay with me, Nozomi says and Naruto blushes redder than a tomato. Yeah sure, Naruto said lying next to Nozomi and she lays her head on his chest. Naruto swallows and wraps his arms around Nozomi. I will always protect you Nozomi, Naruto said quietly and Nozomi has a small smile. Time skip. Naruto yawns waking to see a sleeping Nozomi on his chest and smiles. You awake, Naruto said and Nozomi's eyes start to open. Both smile at each other and them both start to lean into each other. An inch before they can kiss. Wake up. Kan yells entering the room and both stop and glare at Kan. Kan is stopped by two fists punching him in the face, sending him crashing into the wall. What is it, Kan? Naruto yells at him. Ichigo's has vanished. Kan says shocking them. What? Naruto said not understanding it. Time skip 2 minutes later. Are you sure? Naruto says shocked of what he heard. Yes, Kurosaki's Reiatsu has completely vanished, Urahara said. He isn't dead, Naruto says surprising them. How do you know? Urahara said. Naruto closes his eyes. Urahara's eyes widen feeling something weird coming from Naruto. His Zanpakuto is responding to Naruto. I can feel Zangetsu. He's still alive, as well as Kenpachi, Byakuya, Kamamura, Toshiro, and head captain Yamamoto, Naruto says shocking them. I could go further, but I don't want to strain my abilities, Naruto said. That's impossible, how can you sense then from that far away? Urahara says shocked never seeing this ability before. I can't sense them, but I can sense their Zanpakuto, it's like I have a connection with all of the Zanpakuto, it's really weird, Naruto said looking down not knowing of his heritage. I can feel Zangetsu, but Ichigo I can't feel. I don't know how Ichigo could suddenly disappear, Naruto said. This is very bad. The captains who went in first only made it out by the skin of their teeth too, Urahara says not knowing what happened. Can you get any response from Ichigo? Chad said and Urahara shakes his head. No, none at all, Urahara said. So you're saying Ichigo is, Orihime says not wanting to believe Ichigo is dead. The last signal from him came from Severed World, with the capturing ram approaching. We are forced to assume that it engulfed him, Urahara says not wishing for this to be true. Engulfed him? Orihime says. It can't be, Rukia said not believing it. The others don't say a word. No, Nozomi says drawing their attention. Nozomi has her head down with her hair shadowing her eyes with her arms crossed. After all he's done, Nozomi says hearing from Naruto of all people Ichigo fought for and how he used the final Jutsuga Tensho and how he fought Kagarosa to protect her. It's my fault, Nozomi says blaming herself and Orihime walks to her. Nozomi, Orihime says about to put an arm on her shoulder when Nozomi knocks it away. Don't. Nozomi yells and falls to her knees closing her eyes. He's still alive, Naruto said, making her open her eyes surprised. After all the things Ichigo has done, he can't just die like that. Anyways, if I can sense his Zanpakuto, then he must be still alive. If the Soul Reaper dies, so does his Zanpakuto, Naruto says, smiling at her, trying to cheer her up. She just stares at him along with everyone else. Naruto starts to sweat. This is feeling awkward now, Naruto thinks. You're completely right. Kurosaki's not the type to die that easily, Uryu says. Yeah. Besides, Ichigo is doing this of his own free will. You're not responsible for him, Chad said, nodding, agreeing with Uryu. Nozomi, it's all true. So don't blame yourself, Orihime says. Nozomi, Ichigo sucks, but he always keeps his promises. So have faith in him, and just wait, Kon says, and Nozomi stares at Kon. What? You're staring at me, Kon says, a little freaked out. How can all of you have so much faith in him? You're always like this, Nozomi says, and Kon starts blushing. It's not like we believe in him or anything. We're not best buds or whatever, just an ordinary master, and Kon says, walking backwards and trips on the steps. Naruto puts a hand on Nozomi's shoulder, drawing her attention. Naruto smiles, and so does everyone else. Yes, Nozomi says with her own smile now. Things are looking pretty bad, though. We should head to Soul Society as well, Chad said. Now that really is worrying too much, Rukia said. Yeah. Don't take out captains lightly, Renji said. I'm Skip. Utahins is checking on his computer screen, scanning the last place Ichigo disappeared at, trying to find him. Any luck? Rukia said. As I expected, I still can't get a reading on Kurosaki's at all, Urahara said. Then where is he? Did he transport to somewhere you don't know about? Naruto said. Most likely, Urahara said, and they're all quiet for a few seconds. Relax, guys. There's no way that dumbass Ichigo is gone. I just know he's gonna show up when we least expect him. Right. Kon says, trying to cheer everyone up. Then try and push it, Kon, Rukia says, surprising him. Your tough act's pretty obvious. You're really the most worried one here, Renji says, smiling. Shut up. I'm totally not worried at all, and I'm definitely not acting. Kon yells, kicking Renji in the face, making him fall back, and jumps on him. Naruto sees Uryu giving Nozomi a stare. Uryu, cut it out, your stare is starting to get on my nerves, Naruto said. Uryu blinks. Oh, sorry, Uryu says. What secrets could she be hiding? Uryu thinks. 10 minutes later. They hear a beeping and a red dot appears on the scanner. What is it? Rukia said, looking at Urahara. I've detected Kurosaki's Ryatsu, Urahara says. For real? Where is he? Kon says worriedly. If you will, Abarai, Urahara says, standing up. Right, Renji says, standing up as well. Alright, let's go. Kon says. Rukia, Uryu, Chad, Urahara, Renji and Kon leave the room. Orihime walks up to Nozomi. You too, Nozomi, Orihime says and smiles. Nozomi also smiles. She nods. Let's go, Naruto said, taking Nozomi's hand and starts walking too. I'm Skip. Ichigo finally wakes up. Who's there? Ichigo yells. Ichigo sees everyone there looking at him. Huh? He says, and Naruto hits Ichigo in the head, making him grunt in pain. You're too loud, Naruto said, annoyed, and smiles. Ichigo, Orihime says happily. You guys wait, did that mean I'm in the human world? Ichigo says. Yes, you are, Rukia said. The door opens and Naruto looks and smiles, happily seeing Nozomi. Hey Nozomi, look, Ichigo is awake, Naruto says, smiling. It seems you're finally awake, Kurosaki, Urahara said, smiling. Urahara, Nozomi, Ichigo says, and Nozomi had a sad look on her face and not looking at Ichigo. Weren't you supposed to defeat Kagarosa? Nozomi said. Huh? Ichigo says. Wait, he was fighting Kagarosa. Why hadn't anyone told me? Naruto yells and looks angrily at Urahara, who's looking away, whistling. Weren't you supposed to get it done quickly and come back to us? Nozomi says, and Ichigo looks down, depressed. Sorry, Ichigo says. I told you to come back safely, Nozomi says with tears in her eyes, and Naruto sighs. Quit nagging me. I made it back at any rate, Ichigo says, and remembers something. Oh yeah, Renji, were you the one who saved me from the capturing ram? Ichigo says. Huh? I just found you collapsed in the severed world and brought you back here, Renji said, not knowing what went on in the severed world. So, Kurosaki, it seems you really were engulfed by the capturing ram, Urahara says suddenly. Do you know what happened to me, Urahara? Ichigo said. Well. Sort of. But first, got about Dunty. Urahara says, NS. Naruto sees Nozomi grip her arm tighter. Time skip 20 minutes later. Those who find themselves far from the fixed sections of the severed world are lost for all eternity, ultimately doomed to be engulfed by the capturing ram or the capturing flow and meet their death. Everyone knows that much. Naturally, there are a number of ways to escape the severed world, much as Kuretsuchi did. But it should not be possible to be saved being engulfed by the capturing ram the war Kurosaki was, Urahara said. Then was Ichigo says, but is cut off by Urahara. I have no idea. At any rate, what happened to you is completely unprecedented. I will, of course, look into it, but I wouldn't expect any quick answers, Urahara said. Some big help you are, Kon says annoyed. However, I have discovered the reason for Kagarosa's obsession with the severed world, Urahara said. His reason? Naruto said, eating too now. Yes. He has been researching ways to manipulate and utilize the severed world, it's true, but that is not his true goal, Urahara said. What do you mean? Rukia said. Basically, he is studying the severed world for a separate reason. He seeks to obtain a certain piece of information concealed within it, Urahara says. Time skip. Mod souls. Naruto said. Precisely. Kagarosa's motive for research on the severed world is to retrieve information on mod souls, which is concealed within, Urahara says, and Kon points at himself. What's a mod soul? Naruto said, questioningly, never hearing this word before. I know. Kon says. Allow me to explain. A long time ago, something called Project Spearhead took place in Soul Society, Rukia says and starts to draw. Humans who lost their souls at death were to be injected with artificial souls specially designed for combat, and those souls would be used as an anti-hollow vanguard, Rukia says, showing her drawing and Naruto sweat drops, along with Ichigo. Haven't seen those crappy drawings in a while, Ichigi says, and Naruto chuckles a little. Crappy what? Rukia says, looking at them, and Kin walks in front of Rukia. Now, just let it go, Kon says. Art school reject, Nozomi says, and Naruto laughs. Ichigo is surprised and Kon is sweating, while Rukia's hair is shadowing her eyes. No, Kon says, and Rukia whacks Naruto, Ichigo and Kon on the head. The project proposal was quickly rejected. That is how the development of the mod souls came to pass, Rukia said. Kon is a mod soul that survived, Ichigo says, and Kon falls to the ground due to the hit on the head from Rukia. But how did you know that mod soul data hidden in the severed world? Naruto says. By chance. When we were rescuing Kurosaki earlier, I sensed something strange about sins if the spirit particles that had vaguely attached themselves to him. I baptized them, and fragments of scientist mod soul development data emerged. Kaguraza must have used such data to create his captain class mod souls, Urahara said, and the whole time they were taking the light was flickering, and it finally turns off. It's true, Nozomi says, gaining their attention again, and she stands up. Nozomi, what are you talking about? Naruto said, and Nozomi doesn't look at Naruto but at the ground. You knew, didn't you, Kuju? Urahara says, and she nods. Kagarosa is the creator of the mod souls. When Project Spearhead was rejected, a ruling was made that all the mod souls, as well as the vast volume of research on the subject, would be destroyed. The mod souls for they would be cultivated from a few Soul Reaper spirit particles and would inherit their memories and personalities, as well as possessing superior abilities. The ability to freely wield the power of mod souls was judged to be a threat. Before they erased everything, he transformed his exhaustive research of the matter into a special type of spirit particle and cast it deep into the severed world. And much later, in the process of studying the severed world, he extracted the data from the capturing ram, Nozomi said. Naruto is lost for words. So that's what happened, Urahara said, and Kon looks down and laughs a little. That's how it is? You mean we mod souls were created by that bastard? Kon yells angrily. Kon, Ichigo says. I see why Tit can't trust me if that's true, Kon says, and Nozomi gets closer to them. No, that's not true. Nozomi says. Then what is? You never told me any of this until now. Kon yells at Nozomi, pointing at her, and Naruto gets angry. Kon, shut up. Naruto yells angrily. I guess all I was to you in the end was another of Kagarosa's creations. Kon says. Kagarosa wasn't the one who created you, Nozomi says. How do you know? Kon yells. Well, Nozomi says, and her eyes widen, seeing memories. Well, Nozomi says, looking up. The very first mod soul. That's who I am, Nozomi says, and Naruto's eyes widen all the way and is shocked to the core. So this part ends here. Alright, that's it for today's video, guys. Let me know in the comments section how was the story, and also don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I will meet you in another video. Bye bye.